Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your Metal Market Weekly Edition for this Friday, the 17th of May, 2024. And what a week and what a day. $31 higher in gold, back over 2,400. Silver up $1.38, and that's a sell-off. It was nearly 60 cents higher than that at nearly $2 higher. So it just exploded to the upside. And as I've said, silver's been stronger than gold, and it's worked out that way. The copper market roared back from getting as low as 485, came up. Part of the news had to do with China definitely making maneuvers to get the housing market going. And yesterday it sold a lot of bonds in order to bring in cash for infrastructure plays. Those two things got going by it. And while platinum was up a rather respectable $18, nothing like the other markets exploded on. Now the dollar basically steady, so it's not a dollar move. Interest rates added a little bit of yield, and you're back up in the energy markets a little bit here, not running away, but making a bit of a move. So I want to remind you that our gold report is up on the website. It's only there for 3 business days. I put it up yesterday. So if you want to see it, you go to iraepstein.com, and under the word research, you will see it right up there. Give it a try. I cover for you in detail seasonals. I cover then, and by the way, the 30, the 15, and the 5-year seasonals. Then I'm going to cover for you where the price counts say gold can go on this run, where I see futures going, and GLD. So it's all in one. You get the weekly charts and the daily charts on them. So I really give you a lot to look at in the report. And so far, it looks like it's got something going for it. So another day or two of business day, and that's the end of it. Please take advantage if you want to look at it. All right. So let's take a look at what we've got. Gold is on a streak to the upside, 24.17. As you look at a weekly close-only chart, the market's at new highs on a close, 24.17.5. When we look at a weekly bar chart, the market had come out of this area and then exploded, consolidated, and it's now trying to lift itself up for another move. Certainly, if it got down under 3 weeks ago low, that would be a problem for the market. But until that occurs, you're trying your upside move right here. The prior high had been, as you could see, and remember, this is the highs, 24.29. You're a bit shy of it. You got up this week, 24.27. Dollar off. We'll see if the market can punch through. But the pattern is bullish. Higher lows, higher highs. So what you don't want to do is get back under this 22.85 level. Barring that, the market's looking like it could be setting up for more of a move. Again, my theory that when you're over the 18-week average, that gives you the bullish bias in the market, puts into play wherever Bollinger Bands are, and you haven't gotten up to it. You got over it back here for several weeks, and then you pulled back. So the next objective's 24.86 roughly on the market, and you've got an embedded reading. Everything's bullish that I'm seeing on this particular chart. The gold-silver ratio. So you've just come back now from the market at 90.53. What does that mean? You needed 90.53 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. That was in March. Here we are in May, and you need 77.8. Obviously, the lower this goes, the more valuable each ounce of silver becomes. When we look at silver, I'd be very cautious. Staying over Bollinger Bands, you generally don't do. You're about only 5% of the time. That's about it. As I said, you have a base, a long-term base. So when I say I wouldn't tell you to buy over that, doesn't mean I'm bearish. Don't put words in my mouth. It means that I think the pros take money off the table there and they buy on the breaks, and you are overbought in the market. The copper market's the same thing. There's a natural squeeze play in America that's been going on. And those that have short contracts have to scramble to either do a derivative, get out with the loss, get the copper to deliver on. They got to figure out what they're going to do. And in the meantime, the market backs off, gets under the band, and explodes again to the upside. So $5, as you know, I said it here early in the year, was my target. You're 505. Can you keep running? You can, but over the Bollinger Band, I'll stick with what I generally preach. Platinum. Now you've got to look at this whole area as a base. Until the market gets back under these lows right here, long term, this is now your base area. Pullbacks into it on a long-term basis are probably the buying opportunities. Certainly back in here under the $10 area, the $1,000, I said 10, $1,000 area will be where the pros start looking at the market. It is your first move. Over the 200 week in the Bollinger Band, you did this last week and you extended it. I wouldn't be surprised if you come back and challenge it over the next week or two. In the dollar index, you fell back to the support at the 18-week average, but your momentum is turned down. So now the question is, the thinking had been if the dollar's higher for longer and other currencies were going to cut interest rates, would that keep the dollar up? The market now, the thinking is at least that a number of the currencies, let's talk the pound, the euro, they are talking aggressively about summer cuts. We're not hearing that from our Fed, and yet we're weakening. It's rather fascinating. In addition, the lower this goes, the more, if you will, bullish the metals get, and American goods are falling in value, which is what you'd want for our economy. You can't get away from the fact that our economy is doing really well, and that's the argument many have why the Fed doesn't have to cut rates. Things are fine the way they are, and other people are saying, well, they can see through their looking glass, it's going to weaken, and you want to do something before it weakens too much. You understand that argument? I understand that argument. We'll see who wins it out. But in the meantime, my gold report might help you figure out what you want to do now. Again, you just go to iraepstein.com. When you get to iraepstein.com, all you need to do is go to the research area. You will see it right there. Give it a click and away you go. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great weekend. I'll catch up with everybody either in the other videos if you watch them over the weekend or Monday morning. You take care.